Common way is when a tourist rents a motorbike or water sport vessel, they didn't notice it's covered by several subtle pieces of tape. Now, in some cases, you have to take the ride. That one right there, I'll be honest with you, this is the first time I'm hearing this, but be careful because this is something that'd be easy to pull on foreigners. Hey guys, so this goes over scams to avoid, and I'm going to read a little bit of it. Here they are. So it's about the money changing scam. Now this is something I actually experienced, because it shows here the Manila horse-drawn carriage scam. Guys, I've been through this before, and it was a horrible experience. I don't think they're doing it now, but it's funny, when I was over there the other day, and you guys seen it, you guys seen the video. I went through this other day. Not necessarily, but I'm sure you guys seen the video. I was in Manila, like my son's first week in the Philippines, and we're over by the horse, and we talked about the scam, right? So we talked about the scam, and the guy said, "Oh, no, not anymore." And then we asked the price. He said, "Yeah, it's a price, but," and didn't fully explain. Now, same thing happened years ago, but it was worse. The guy said, "Oh, 50, 50, 50." Then we got on a horse. We took it around the block. 100% in the BNK, 500.
For 5 minutes.
For 5 minutes, but he was saying 50, 50, 50. Didn't mention anything. We got on a horse, we went around the corner, 500 pesos. Which we didn't like, it was the way it was done. But anyway, that scam right there is prevalent. Taxi scam, that doesn't really happen anymore. They have it here, they should have updated the article, because taxi scams not happening anymore. And it says water sports and motorcycle hire scams. That can happen. The money changing scam, you guys may not fall victim to that, because you're not going to be changing money with people. If somebody comes up and says, "Oh, I can change the money for you," just don't do it. The horse scam you probably won't have to worry about. The taxi scam won't really happen anymore, but you can bump into it in certain areas, so definitely look out for that. Now let me keep going. Now it breaks down the scams in general. This guy said, even his later father, a veteran traveler, fell prey to this common scam years ago in Manila. The first warning of the Philippines money changer scam is a sign advertising a very generous exchange rate, one well above the market price. This is the honey trap. It says the excitement of getting a great deal blinds tourists to the risk of changing their money at a small stall instead of a safer institution, such as a bank. Your rates are lower. The store vendor will first take your foreign currency and then count out, on a bench top in front of you, the correct amount of Philippines pesos. When you non-acceptance, having counted and recognized the exchange is accurate, the vendor will sweep the pile of pesos back towards them and tie it tightly with a rubber band. Most tourists then walk away happy, just as my father did, only to later undo the band, count their cash, and realize they've been heavily shorted. This sounds like one of those scams they may pull in New York, right? But it's crazy, it can happen. And he said, and this is what he said, that's because as the vendor swept the money after counting it, they definitely push notes either through a narrow slit in the bench top or down on the floor next to them, which is why when your pesos are handed to you, make sure to remove the band and count it in front of the vendor before leaving. Or to be even safer, just avoid small money changes. And I said that right there, that's the best thing. Don't do it, and what happens is when you're in the streets, or especially when you go like places by immigration, right? I used to hate it when I'm over there. You have a bunch of guys, "Oh, hey, come over here. A lot of times, those guys can't really help you with anything you're doing. The only guys you can stop at when you're in front of immigration, see the guys with the purple vest on, looking like the Purple Rangers? Those are the guys. You see girls with it too. Those people can help you. So go see them when you're out there. We'll go to the next one. This is the Manila horse-drawn scam. It goes pretty much explaining the same thing I explained, so I'm going to skip that. So now this one here is taxi scams. Not really happening, but I'll read it anyway. Taxis are remarkably good value in the Philippines, and the drivers, who often speak English quite well, can be a great source of friendly conversation and advice on food and sightseeing options. Unfortunately, there's also a minority of drivers who massively overcharge foreigners and typically hang around the busiest tourist areas. It's not only foreigners. I'll tell you this. This used to even happen, and it still does happen sometimes when it's busy, to Filipinos. I remember being by Mega Mall during Christmas. That's usually when they overcharge. They'll be sitting there, and it always drove me nuts. The taxi cab driver would be just sitting in the car for hours, and I'm thinking in my head, man, if you just drove around and took rides all that whole 2 hours you wasted here, you could have already made 500, 600 pesos. But they just sit there, wait for someone to come out, sometimes around Christmas time too, and then hit them. Boom, 500. Boom, 600. When are they gonna get that same money, just charge a little more? And going around anyway, you know, I never got it, but that's what happens. It says to protect myself, that's what he says, to protect myself before I get into a taxi in the Philippines, I always ask the driver if they use the meter and then watch them activate it. Now that's the only thing. That won't happen, guys. When someone's sitting there, they're not gonna use the meter, right? They're going to charge you more. Now in some cases, you have to take the ride. Let me explain. When you're over, like for instance, when I was in Mega Mall, and it was Christmas season, everyone is playing that fee. But by the airport though, you're gonna find cabs in abundance. That doesn't even happen anymore. Grab is available as well, but during the Christmas season, Grab is all wiped up. By the airport, Grab should always be available. Maybe even in the Christmas season too, because that's the area that's free flowing with Grabs and it's much easier. But by the malls, you're not gonna get anything anywhere. So sometimes you may actually have to pay that 500. It may actually be worth it, depending on how close you live. I remember when I was living in Pasig, and they were charging like 500 to go on Pasig. I felt it was a waste, but sometimes, and Kay understands too.
Or sometimes add 50, add 100.
Yeah, add 50, add 100, but no, sometimes you may very well have to pay that 500 and it's worth it. Now, if they tell you 1,000 or something, they're on, you know, Shabu or something like that, because it's ridiculous. But 500 sometimes is not even that much. And I know Filipinos are probably watching and saying, yeah, he's right, because Filipinos know, and I'm sure some foreigners know. That's the real scam. Make sure you negotiate before you ride, because some drivers, and that's the thing, this right here, I'm kind of giving my take on it as I'm reading this, but that's my take, really. I say put all this out the window, because it's a little old, but when you're in a car and that is a situation, make sure you negotiate the price before you ride, before you take off. Because in some situations, you're gonna have to pay more. You can't meter everything. This here is giving good advice, but some situations, you can't say meter, because they're not gonna give even a Filipino meter.
Facts.
You see what I'm saying? So in some cases, you have to negotiate, but at that time, make sure you get the price right, because I'll tell you what happened to me before. I actually told someone about it yesterday. I was going right up the block, and it was bugged out, but the guy, he tried to charge me something crazy, and I flipped out on him. I flipped very badly on him because he felt he can take advantage of people, and some guys feel like that out here. And I'm not saying it's like that. Filipino people are very generous and nice, but you have some drivers that will think, oh, because I'm a cab driver, I'm the law, and that's just how it is. But still, make sure you negotiate the price, and you'll be okay. Let me go on to the next one. Now this one here, I've never seen this before, water sports and motorcycle hire scams. I've never bumped into this, but it happens though in tourist areas. And I have took a bike before in a tourist area, but I'm not sure of these scams. Let me read this one. It says in beach resort destinations, such as Boracay, Palawan, and Cebu, many tourists hire motorbikes, I did that before, to explore these peaceful, beautiful locations. Or do water sport activities such as jet skiing and windsurfing. Unfortunately, it's very easily for them to be scammed, and I can see how. Since the most common way is when a tourist rents a motorbike or water sport vessel, they didn't notice it's covered by several subtle pieces of tape. Hidden under that adhesive is pre-existing damage. Oh, got it. So guys, that one right there, I'll be honest with you, this first time I'm hearing this, but be careful because this is something that'd be easy to pull on foreigners. So it says, once you return the blue or the bike or jet ski, the scamming vendor will surreptitiously remove the tape, claim you just caused that damage, and then hand you an enormous bill for repairs. So guys, you already know, sometimes that enormous bill, they say, okay, your bike is broken, it's gonna be 10,000 pesos, right? And sometimes you're buying them another bike that's used. They're using used bikes anyway. So you get them another bike, maybe even 2 bikes. Maybe they got a bike dealer that knows how to fix bikes and they can get them on discount. So watch out for that. That's something real. So if you see that blue tape or something like that, you want to stay away from it. But guys, that's it right there. The next one we have here is other scams. It says beware of any stranger in the Philippines who approaches you randomly in public and tries to engage you in an extended conversation, particularly if they're confident and have impressive English. That almost happened to me, but it wasn't going to happen to me because, of course, you know I'm going to let it happen. But anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Things you to look out for, but you won't really be in danger of like getting hurt, but you can always be scammed. So keep a lookout for that. Thank you for watching this video. If you like my content, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Also, if you like my content, you're welcome to support my content by giving a small donation at PayPal. You can go to my Buy Me a Coffee at buymeacoffee.com/JTBF. At the bottom of this video, you'll see thanks there. You can give thanks and make sure your comment is highlighted, and you can give a small donation that way as well. Guys, in the description, you'll see other videos of my other content that's great as well. So you can be sure to watch my other content there. Thank you for watching. See you next video.